So
right.
for people that want to upgrade, let's
Yeah,
say either from the Insta360 series. So let's talk about the people that
yeah,
are in the Insta360 series, which is in X2,
right.
X3, X4. For whom do you think this is a valid upgrade? Who do you think they should just wait for, like, let's say the X6 or the X7? I
Okay.
don't know.
If you have if you care only about photos, like you're buying a 360 camera because you're a real estate agent, you want to take 360 photos, I think the X3 and X4 are just as good as the X5 for photos. In fact,
Hmm.
I might say that the X5 X3 is arguably better because it can take a 9-shot auto exposure bracket, whereas this one, the maximum auto exposure bracket is 7 shots. So
Okay.
if your interest is photo, I think X3 is cheaper and it's arguably as good, if not slightly better. So that's a
Hmm.
better deal for you. But if your focus is on video, then I'd ask you like, okay, so how much do you use your camera? Like if you use your 360 camera or action cam, if you have either one of those and you use it a lot, then I would say that the time you save with InstaFrame makes it
Makes it definitely
worth
worth.
it
Yeah.
to
Right. Right. Right.
to upgrade, especially if you do a lot of like low light shots, because that's one of the other things that's better with the X5. It's got way better low light
Low.
performance, better even than the GoPro Hero 12. I mean, Hero 12 is not great for low light, but I'm saying it's better than a non 360 camera. So if you shoot a lot in low light, or you do a lot of action stuff where you have a risk of damaging the lenses, that's another reason to upgrade. Now,
Mm.
if on the other hand, like you're kind of price sensitive, that let's say you have a tight budget and it's really stretched to fit this in your budget, then I'd say stick with your current camera. It's no problem because the X4, if you compare the X4 and the X5 in daylight, I think most people won't know the difference. Like I can
Mhm.
tell that the colors
You
are
can tell.
richer.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
can tell because I've seen so many 360 cameras. I've compared them so many years. I can tell that's the difference. It's richer, there's that better bit depth, or I would say it like that. Um, Especially if you zoom in really closely, then it becomes a little more and more obvious. But if you're just looking at the normal screen, I, I think 90% of people will not be able to tell the difference between an X4 and X5 in daylight. The only exception to that, there's one major exception to that, which is glare. Like
Mm.
if you have the X4 or anything, X3, X2, X anything, any camera before this, and then you hold your camera like that, and then the sun is shining on it, you're gonna see that half of the video, the upper half of the video becomes brighter. And
Right. Right.
even though the stitching is smooth, because there's this big difference in brightness between the top and the bottom lens, then uh, it doesn't it kind of breaks this illusion of a third person view.
Mm.
Now, there are ways to avoid that glare. You can kind of angle the camera to avoid so that the sun is evenly lighting both lenses at the same time. But in the real world, it's such a hassle to kind of
To
aim
hold
it
it.
every
Yeah. Yeah.
time. Like it defeats the point of shooting without aiming. Now with the X5, this is the first camera from Insta360 where the glare is really well controlled. That
Mm.
there's still some like little blue spots here and there, but that white glare that's really distracting for me, that's gone. So that's for me that's a bigger improvement than the
Yeah. Yeah.
richness in the larger sensor, that kind of thing. That glare thing is a bigger improvement in the X5. That's the only
Mm.
thing that where you would, if you see an X5 and X4 and there's glare and the conditions are or let's say you're holding it like this and sun is shining it, you're definitely gonna notice that the X5 has way less glare than the X4. But
Okay.
other than that,
Hmm.
and other than low light, I think most people will not see much of a difference between X4 and X5 for daylight.
Okay. I don't know if you have tested this out, but have you tested it indoors with like just indoor lighting? Like, do you
Yeah,
think uh it it it's the same for both, or do you think the X5 probably performs
no, no,
better
no.
indoors?
The the X5 has that low light video mode. It's called pure video. You
Okay.
can use it indoors too, and it works well.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is
So
between
like,
the X4 and the X5, is
mhm.
there like a real difference that you have noticed with
It
inside?
depends on how bright the indoor lighting is. If
Hmm.
you have an X4 and you shoot with it, and you're noticing that the image looks darker than you want, then
Hmm.
the X5 will fix that. If
Okay.
on the other hand, it's you're indoors but it's very bright, and you're looking at your X4 video and hey,
And it looks
it
good.
looks bright enough, then you
Hmm.
won't notice much of a difference between that and the X5.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Uh-huh.